Hello, buds. So I have been hopelessly addicted to Oxygen Not Included lately, and through my time playing the game, I have discovered quite a few quote-unquote useless designs that I wanted to share with you guys today. Okay, useless isn't the right term for them. They have uses, but they aren't vital to a playthrough at all. So don't expect to see anything like an oxygen machine here, since that would be classified as essential. These machines are more redundant than anything, but YouTube doesn't like big words in the titles, so whoops. Either way, let's get into our number 5 design. Something I personally rush in any playthrough is this design right here, a high capacity water tank. Now, you can achieve this and even greater by using a few doors and a little petroleum, sure, but this design still has its advantages over infinite storage. First off, it's legit and doesn't utilize exploits. If something in the system breaks, it won't absolutely flood your entire map, like infinite storage would, and it can act as a massive heat sink if located in the center of your base, due to how water can absorb heat. The downsides? Well, it's limited, and you must be careful about how big you make it, since pressure damage is certainly a threat. So how do you build it, and how does it work? This high-capacity water tank utilizes water reservoirs that will be flooded. You see, normally a water reservoir can only hold at max 5 kilos of water, but one tile can hold 1 kilo, and a reservoir is 6 tiles in total and can be flooded and still operational. And this is tileable. Again, be careful however, as if you make the tank too big, it will take pressure damage. This can be mitigated by using more tiles or just using doors. However, just make sure those doors are locked. You really wouldn't want a dupe getting, curious. Now, I'll show you a time lapse of building the design and all of the important layouts. For our number 4 spot, we have a solid decontamination station. Are you tired of slime lung making your duplicants sick? Or are you just a clean freak like I am who wants to ensure that your base is always as clean as possible? Well, let me introduce you to the Solid Object Decontamination Station. This structure will accept any solid, run it through a high-pressure chlorine tank, and output clean, germ-free solids, conveniently in a water bath to prevent off-gassing. It seems complex, right? Well, not really. But I'll show you how it's made and its layers soon enough. For now, let's talk about the use cases of this. No, it cannot purify water, and no, it can't purify air. But if you have any germy polluted dirt, slime, or frozen crude oil, this will eliminate any and all germs on them, which will prevent spread if the solid decides to off-gas. It is mostly useless, yes, especially because diseases are a joke in this game, but come on, germ-free slime is pretty satisfying. Anyways, let's look at the build. Our number 3 spot, I have the Saltwater Distillery. I thought we were only showcasing useless builds in this video. So what's an objectively good build doing here? Well, there's many better ways to boil salt water, so I decided why not use a volcano and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. This design will provide you with metals, sand, and clean water. But again, you are at the mercy of the volcano. It's especially bad if you pick a gold volcano like I did, since gold cools down way too easily and doesn't hold much thermal energy. I'm sure you have so many questions about this design, like what is that auto miner unit doing there? Well, originally I was thinking of using this as a polluted water purifier that would kill germs and provide clean water and dirt, but when dirt gets hot enough, it produces a solid block of sand. Also, polluted water off-gases, which doesn't play well with steam turbines, so that's a no-go. Salt water, however, works just fine. Let's go over to the build, and then afterwards I will show you the proper way to utilize salt water if that's what you want to do. Using fresh salt water to tame a metal volcano is pretty overkill, especially when a regular steam room plus turbines refeeding works just fine. The better way to use this fresh water for heat sinking is actually in refining. This will ensure the room stays full of steam and provides constant sand thanks to the salt being cooked. Or again, you can just make a standard steam room. I'm not 100% sure if the sand income is worth it, but hey, it's funny. Oh yeah, and when I turned my refinery on to test the system, the game just crashed? So, do with that knowledge what you will. I know it works, the game just didn't want it to work for some reason. For our number 2 spot, I have a very, very niche design. The Bionic Booster Pack, Oxygen Not Included's latest DLC, brought with it a brand new liquid that Bionics expel. Gunk. Well, gunk, much like oil, can be refined into petroleum if it gets hot enough, with the added benefit of providing sulfur as well. So, how do we utilize this? With this incredibly complex and over-the-top sulfur/petroleum boiler. We'll just call it a gunk boiler for short. If you can't understand what's going on the screen right now, don't worry. It's surprisingly not that complex. We utilize magma flakes from a volcano to heat up a boiler plate set to 840 degrees Fahrenheit. This is to avoid sour gas forming since that would ruin the build. Then, gunk is slowly introduced by connecting its automation to our heat injector's automation, which means it only flows through when the plate is hot enough to boil it nearly instantly. This turns it into petroleum and sulfur gas. The petroleum flows down some winding tubes being cross-flowed by the gunk in radiant pipes to siphon some heat out before being pumped out by a steel liquid pump. Steel is important here as it will overheat otherwise. So far, it's just like a petroleum boiler. So, no big deal, right? Well, we also have to deal with that sulfur gas. The sulfur gas will float up to the top right of the design, where it comes into contact with our cooling loop. Now, in a normal game, you would probably have your aqua tuner in a steam room, but for the purposes of this video, I just have it out in the open and made of thermium. This will cool down the sulfur into a solid, where it is then grabbed by our auto sweeper and dumped into our conveyor belt, ready to be utilized. In our number 1 spot, we have the Duplicant Annihilator. Have you ever had a duplicant just shove their head into the ceiling for no reason? Are they trying to form unions to stop you from forcing them to power your unholy contraptions? Well, the Duplicant Annihilator is here to save the day. Due to the simplicity of this build, I will skip the time-lapse segment and just say it utilizes 2 things. An infinite storage, which looks like this, filled with as much nuclear waste as possible, and rad bolt generators. Whenever a duplicant is making you mad, you can simply laser them to death. How convenient. But that's not all this device is useful for. If you like watching morbs pop, then this device also doubles as a morb popper. Woohoo! Okay. That was probably the only truly useless build on this list, but hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the video regardless. I want to start doing a little bit more Oxygen Not Included on the channel, and I have another Let's Play that's in the works, so expect something less silly and more serious soon. Either way, this has been Polarlotus, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.